Howdy dorks, hello, hello, welcome in. Happy Monday, happy Dwarf Fortress, happy cat. Happy cat? I mean, she seems happy now. She has her little catnip sausage, so she'll be occupied for a little bit. How's it going? It's a Monday. It's a Dwarf Fortress day. We made it to another week. Hooray! Your prize is another week. Hooray. Yeah, so we are here in Dwarf Fortress. We are here in our kobold world. Things are progressing quite nicely. Our ongoing project right now is to assemble all of the colors. And we're not that far off, but we're also maybe... I don't know how long it's going to take to actually complete that because of the nature of things, right? Let me pull up our list here. We have a total of 6 colors that we do not have, of like 50 something. But half of them can appear literally anywhere. So there's not really a way to like hunt for them. There's a couple that we can hunt for. We found some nice towards the end of the stream. I'm remembering that now. There's some nice down by the magma. So we're going to be mining all of that out to see if we can find some sunstone. But other than that, and then like marble, and then sedimentary, and then everywhere. Those are the zones we're looking for today. Thank you for the reward of surviving until Monday. I mean, good job. Like, it's rough out there. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have a better prize for you, but I mean, there you go. Hooray. That's mostly what we're doing. We're gonna poke at the adamantine downstairs. I do want to, it's gonna be a risk. I really don't want to lose a polar bear person trying to find adamantine to give to a polar bear person. But the alternative is A, not mining more candy, and B, kind of sitting around while people mine stuff, which isn't as interesting. So I think we're gonna poke at the mines down there, see if we can find some more goodies. Hope we don't find some more baddies. We're gonna find some more baddies. I hope we can deal with the baddies. Maybe that's more what the thing is. We're gonna be careful, we're gonna go slow, and we're gonna not kill anyone. No one is going to die. Maybe a miner will die, but the polar bears will be fine. The polar bears will be fine. I am manifesting right now. I'm telling you, they're gonna be fine. So yeah, that's what we're up to today. Today's episode is brought to you by gems, shiny little rocks, lots of colors, and by viewers like you, clicking on all the buttons down there, hang out with us live, hang out in VODs, hang out in Discord, wherever you want to hang out, push some buttons, mine some gems, put them in rings, I don't know. That's what we're doing here. So we're gonna go over here, I'm gonna press that button and these buttons, and we're gonna be good. We're just gonna do the thing. Prize is Uncharted Dwarf Fortress stream, yes. Your consolation prize for a Monday is a Dwarf Fortress stream. That's as much as I can provide you, so I'm glad you appreciate it. Okay. It's gonna load. There we go. Here we are. Here's our windows. Here's all the colors we have so far. We're still missing 6 colors out of all of this. And we're gonna keep going. 3 groups are stranded. Why are you here? Okay, we're gonna get off to a great start here. You should not be here. I mean, it is draining off that end, but you're just... you are gonna drown. You're a legendary siege operator. You're gonna drown. Maybe if I unlock these, we're gonna flush someone down, but... Oh, did you lose it? You lost it. Here you go. There you go. Okay, we're good. I can fix that problem. And then all of this. Oh, this is what we were doing. This is where we're at. But what was this other one? You shouldn't be stranded. There's stairs right here. You aren't stranded. I'm gonna unpause. You are yeah, okay. So it immediately recognized that you aren't stranded. Weird. Hey, look, a raid. Welcome in. Hello, Talon Artho. How's it going? Let me give you a quick shout out. Welcome in. We're just getting started here. We're on a shiny hunt. I also don't know why this kobold is drowning. I'm not entirely sure why. That's kind of what we're figuring out right now. It says you're healthy. I don't know why you got in here in the first place. Read and raid, excellent. What were you up to? Were you reading? Co-working and studying, excellent. Excellent. Do you read on stream? I've had the thought that it would kind of be nice to do a story time someday, you know? But I've never actually done it. Good luck with this shiny hunt, thank you. We have 6 colors of gems remaining to find. Do you want to see my collection so far? Here's our color collection. We're not done yet. There are 6 colors left. We've been slowly assembling some pride flags. Some are more done than others. I think I want to change out this green. But I think this is the one I'm most happy with. I really like this one. Enjoy narrative game streams. I also do. Sometimes I'm doing Dwarf Fortress today. Oh, excellent. In the mornings, I do productivity in general. Now there's a cat butt here. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a reading stream. Excellent. Sub-stories I've written for supporters. That's cool. I'm not that nice. Okay. But for real, I'm gonna try and make sure that this... Can I get rid of this? Close. Jeez. I'm gonna unpause and hope that you can get... Can you get out of here? You're not drowning. I find that very odd, honestly. How are you even here? The cats are going nuts. Oh, you dropped it again. Here you go. Did you get closer? Oh, I don't know. This is not going to drain anywhere near fast enough because it's only draining from this side. And it's leaking from everywhere. Oh, you're getting closer. Okay, can you do it? Can you get out of here? We have a mysterious construction that just began. Are you gonna make it? Are you gonna make it? Are you swimming? Are you like a really good swimmer now? What does swimmer count as? Is that other? Swimmer, dabbling swimmer. Okay. You are gaining experience though. You're learning fast. There we go. Okay. You made it. You made it. Lurking got a D-stream? Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I got sucked in immediately. You go do your D-stream stuff. Never be shy about raiding and running. I do the same exact thing. We're gonna be here. We're mining. We're dealing with aquifer. Dealing with aquifer. That's really what we're doing today. Yeah. Yeah, that's the goal for today. Let's see if I can get these started to drain. Of course, I didn't designate all the way out on a lot of these. Yeah, and it's gonna be, yeah. We could get up here, that'd be great. I went too far with this. I designated the whole level being like, yeah, they'll get to it. Forgetting that we live in aquifer land. forever and always. I can probably do like down here too. Shiny gems that glisten like stars in space. Yes. Yes, yes. Stars and rocks. Okay, so I mean, we're trading on this side. And they're working on it. It's mostly just all this middle junk. And then this level. Right, so we're, we're also working down here. And did I... That's what I did. So I didn't get quite to the end here. I thought I was... Can I not even designate it because it's too flooded? I didn't get quite to the end. That's my real problem here. So I carved a bunch of fortifications that weren't actually connected to the edge. Like a smart person. Like a person who's paying attention. And the frames, oh. Aquifer is not good for frames. Generally speaking. I mean, if we could... Jeez, this whole level is just gonna be... full. And I could mine, like... above to try and get the ceiling from leaking, but... I don't think... I don't know how feasible that's even gonna be, because it just keeps going up. It's just all aquifer. It's just all aquifer. Okay, so those will start draining. This is all flooded forever. Yep. Yep, okay. Peacekeeper has created Karsri Larka, Silza Shikro, a llama wool hood. Excellent. Let's just place that while we're thinking about it. Been a steady trickle into Discord lately. Are they from YouTube? That's a great question. I maybe presume so. I don't know where else they'd come from. I haven't been doing anything different. I think it's just slowly people finding us. Right, I have this whole top side done. Just want to start over here. Because the YouTube stuff has been going, but it hasn't been like... I wouldn't say it's like picked up or anything. Wood. Llama wool hood. Perfect. Root tile, rock crystal, banded agate. Okay, so what are we looking for? We are looking for amber opal, or tube agate, or fortification agate, or cinnamon grossular, or wood opal, or bandfire opal, or sunstone. Those are the things we are looking for right now. Of course, there's just so much. It's all wet. Yeah, it's all, I know it's wet. I know it's wet. That's the problem. Nice to see new people getting involved. I agree. I agree. It's nice to know that I haven't completely saturated my audience already. Okay, so how are we gonna go about this? Other than trying to keep up with digging the drains, which is clearly important. Right? I can't dig any further. Yeah, that's gonna suck. Just read that last comment and not the grumpy ones above. Oh. That's fair. I don't like names I don't recognize, but they're friendly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I had a comment and then it's gone. No, I feel ya. But fortunately, we're not like exploding or anything, right? You know, a steady trickle. We still know the faces that are coming in. It's not like we got 50 people in a day or something. That would be scary. Having like a huge influx would be scary. No, wait, actually, that needs to be mined out. There we go. Oops. And there, and here. I think what's going to happen is we're going to basically mine out this level and make sure it has proper drainage, and then drain this level into it. If that makes sense. Because we can't get to the edges to carve drains on this level now. That's now the problem. And like this whole, all of this junk. Oh my goodness. And okay, so we connected something down here clearly. Don't even know what's going on here. Just want to clarify that I mean by that is if Talon Artho popped up in Discord to be ace, but if random name always puts me on high alert, that's fair. Honestly, it kind of restored my faith in humanity a bit that we haven't had that. If people are watching the VOD, they should come and join. I agree. Yes, if you are a VOD watcher, come hang out in the Discord. Or if you're not, I'll also hop in the Discord. It's pretty chill. It's pretty chill. We're a small group so far. So like there was there's another YouTuber that I watch, I guess is what I do to YouTubers. And he has one of the reasons I'm interested in what he's doing is because he also has a very eclectic sense of what belongs in his channel, right? He's doing like music stuff, he's doing like programming stuff, just math stuff in general, just finding weird stuff to do and be interesting, right? And then at the end of a recent a video not too long ago, he was like, yeah, we had a Discord, I haven't really done anything with it, but I'm gonna put the link down here in case people are interested. It was like a generic like channel update kind of a video. So it's like if you got to the end, then you see the Discord link. And enough people saw that his Discord blew up. I joined the Discord as part of that wave of people, and there are now a lot of people in this Discord. There are 50 people online, and there's 110 offline. And that's a lot. I don't know that I wouldn't say we wouldn't survive, but like that it can change the feel of a place, right? When it grows that quickly. Oh, we're paused. So I do want to be careful about things like that, but you know, the rate we're going, I think we're doing pretty good. Can you... Oh. Do as I say. Do as I'm thinking, not as I say. Planter found dead. Oh, it's the first of spring. This is the only time of year where it's acceptable for people to fall over dead in the hallway. So Tylus, the planter, just fell over dead of old age. It might have been one of No, I think we only had 2 legendary planters. I think... What are you? You're a siege engineer? Maybe you can also be a planter. 4 should be plenty. 2 legendary, 2 professional. I think that's plenty for planters. Let's see who else is dead. A furnace operator named Casa died up here by the brewery. Furnace operator isn't too concerning. You were in the midst of hauling a pot of ale and just fell over dead. I don't think that was a very crucial person. You know, always sad, but, you know, I don't actually know who that was. Lorpa, on the other hand, was an axe bold and was in our squad. Oh, dang. We just had a squad kobold. An axe bold just died of old age in their bed. I guess if there's a way to go, that's probably not a bad one. Pour one out for Lorpa. Do we get anyone else? That did happen. You might need to do some role segregation or something. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I would do. I mean, I would just kind of hope that we would be able to handle it, right? We are benefited by the fact that there's not... This isn't a very universally targeted audience kind of a deal. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I don't expect just any random person off the street to have that much interest in what we're doing, which suits me just fine. So I think that actually helps in that kind of a situation. Needs dimple cup to mill. So I think that means, are we currently milling? Yeah, okay. So we have dimple cups to mill now. Great. So we were growing them last season, so we just harvested them. And now we are milling them. That's going to go into clothing automatically. Right? We have a bunch of dye here. Perfect. And then we are tinting cloth. It's all working. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that. Dangerous terrain. Yeah, that's all the water. That's all fine. Smoky quartz, jasper, opal, prace, milk quartz, pitch blend, heliodor, shoral, red tourmaline, onyx, sapphire, galena. So not what we're looking for. So I guess we need to toss in another kobold into our squad here, don't we? Although learning the lore about the new portrait drama did shatter the very unrealistic, idyllic view of the DF community, I will say, so I mean, there's always some drama, right? And I only heard about that drama secondhand. I'm not really hanging out on Reddit these days, and I've never really hung out on the forums. There was a bit of drama, but I don't know... Even that kind of drama, as silly as it is, I don't think amounts to the kind of drama you get in other gaming communities. The Dwarf Fortress player community has generally been one of the more kind and accepting communities that I've ever been in. It's still a community of gamers, so there's going to be opinions. People definitely have opinions about Dwarf Fortress. And And I was watching that interview with the artist, right? And I think he makes a really good point about the fact that this game existed without art for decades. For so long, this game has not had official art. So people who play it kind of fill it in with their own imagination, right? And then as soon as you come in and try to put something concrete to what they have been filling in by themselves, if there's a mismatch there, it can be weird, right? It's like, oh, this wasn't what I imagined for this to look like. For me personally, it was perfect because this game is a little goofy sometimes. So the portraits had a little bit of a goofy character to them, and for me that was like spot on. It nailed the vibe of the game to me. What other people don't play the game the same way, and they get other kinds of vibes out of it. So I can understand them not being a fan. People always take it too far because it's the internet, right? I think Soul the Milker here is going to be our new soldier. Soul the soldier. You go grab all your stuff, go update your equipment. I was mostly happy, and I think he nailed the murder's unicorn on the first pass. It's interesting because the unicorn, I think, has had the most opinions. I've seen people say the exact opposite. I've heard people say that everything was fine except for the unicorn, which I think is really funny. I don't know. The polar bears. The polar bears were perfect. The polar bears were perfect. I am debating, I haven't bothered doing it yet, but I am debating going in and modifying things so that we use some of those old portraits. I'm also going to put in designations to smooth all of these actual aquifer walls, because that's gonna slow things down at least. A lot of this is just wet and not actively leaking, but a lot of it is actively leaking. A lot of it. So much of it, in fact. I just can't get back in here. His interview talking about the unicorns killing dwarves partly being his inspiration for the slightly deranged portrait made so much sense, right? And that's kind of my feeling too. Like, there's general fantasy and how things look in, like, the look and feel of a intentionally crafted fantasy universe ends up being a little bit different from the procedural reality that you get out of a game like this. Because them being deranged like that is kind of emergent, right? It's not like, I don't think Tarn sat down and was like, I'm gonna make the most ridiculous unicorns anyone's ever seen. It just kind of worked out that way. They're the right size and shape, and they're deadly. Like even carp, famously, I don't know if it's so much of a deal these days, but used to be a lot of jokes about cave carp because they can kill a dwarf. And that's not Tarn saying like, oh, I think carp should be deadly. That's just kind of the game doing what it wants. So things that acknowledge that reality feel on point to me. It's all filling in very quickly. Like, yeah, this is a fantasy universe, but it's not not meant to be Tolkien, right? It's inspired by, takes a lot of notes from a lot of other fantasy universes and fantasy world building, but it's not meant to be a facsimile. It's not meant to replicate any specific other feeling. It's just Dwarf Fortress. It's just Dwarf Fortress, you know? Okay, wow, such aquifer. Okay, that should help. I mean, technically, since we mined out on the same level, technically this level isn't leaking from above, so if we smooth out all of the walls, this level won't actually be leaking. That's an interesting point. We wouldn't have to mine out everything above us. We just have to mine out, like, this design on every level. And since we have to mine just any stone, or any sedimentary even. Right, what are we in? We're in sandstone? I think we're in sedimentary right now. So this isn't a waste of time or anything. This is actively looking for what we're looking for. And there's a bunch of people down here smoothing. But see, look, this is already... Or no, this is where it was. Okay, so this is like draining out. Okay, that's not too scary then. Oh, we need to like dig out these fortifications. That's what's going on. I need to do this. And then it's all filled in very quickly. Of course, I'm setting all this as like priority 1, so now I can't actually direct people in any specific direction. When everything's priority 1, nothing is. Okay. Back in the day, back in my day, when we were playing Dwarf Fortress, before the Steam version, they had graphics packs. They had tile packs done by community members. So it was either you were either doing the ASCII graphics or you were doing a tile pack. And some of those, the visual style between all the different tile packs was dramatic. Like, I played with kind of one of the cutesy tile packs. Or as cutesy as it gets, right? But some of them were like serious business, we're dwarves. Not like grimdark, but like serious business dwarves. So I can imagine if you're playing this game with serious business tile pack for years, and then suddenly the official art is like, it's not so serious anymore. I imagine that would be jarring. Oh, there is so much to smooth. Oh my god, what have we done? What have I done? Who placed the floodgate lever on the wrong side of the floodgate? Me. We placed the fortress on the wrong side of the aquifer. That's not entirely true. We are beneath our fortress right now, so this isn't like existential danger, but like, my god. My god. I do wish we could get these drains cut first. That would be nice. But of course, I have undone that. Oh, is that the elves? The elves are here. Hooray. Native silver, rock crystal, cassiterite, cryolite. Still not what we're looking for. Dangerous terrain because it's dangerous. Even Blind has said that this is a game that lends itself whimsical. I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, very serious things happen, right? Like, there's deaths, there's war, all sorts of grim, serious business stuff happens. But in practice, it can be downright goofy. It can just be goofy. Football Manager has a huge issue with that. FM26 has had no support for skins, and part of the rage against the UI and UX has been that people weren't using the base game in the first place, so it's a harsher transition to what the studio expected. Interesting. So was there previously was support for skins? Is that what I'm gleaning here? And then now there isn't? I can imagine that being rough. Know what you meant, but say serious business deserves. I picture it all in suits and ties. Yes. Yes, business dwarves. Can we get like Sim Tower but dwarves? I would play that. It's too silly in some of its elements to be too serious, yeah. Kobold in suits, in fact, not so serious. Business kobolds, oh dear. They're gonna sell you an extended warranty. If it casts itself as grim and gritty, you lose the parts that make it kind of goofy, right? And I think Dwarf Fortress kind of uniquely melds the two of them, right? I don't think this game is fully goofy. I don't think it's fully serious business. I think it's a really strange combination of the two in a pleasing way. It doesn't aim to be one or the other, right? It's not like intentionally goofy or intentionally serious. It just intentionally creates systems, and sometimes they're goofy. Sometimes that's just how it works out. And that kind of, like when they're designing the game systems, they're not thinking about that specifically, right? They're thinking it would be nice to have this system. It would be nice to implement this, not, oh, the game is too goofy right now. We need to make it feel a bit more serious and change something. That's just not how they go about it. Little too much Looney Tunes, a little bit of orcs. Yeah. 40k orcs is probably a really good comparison to draw. For 10 years there was skin support, then they switched to Unity, really struggled, and the game was pretty hard to navigate, but more so for people used to the modded version of the interface. So there's just no mod support? I don't know. It's tricky to, like in any situation where you have something available and then you kind of take it away, even though it's a new game, right? But it's the same franchise. Anytime you have something and then that thing goes away, it's really tough. The term bloody hilarious ought to be horrific if its reality is very 90s sensibility and tone. Yeah. Which is funny, the game is almost that old. Not quite, but almost. The elves say, don't chop trees. We say, okay. We don't need your trees. Okay, so there's a lot less that is leaking here now. We are constantly revealing more, but I think it's getting there, and then we can carve here. Okay. Well, there's a lot of drains on this level, and we smoothed a lot of walls, so it's better than it was. It's better than this level, though even this is draining. Oh, this is actually starting to drain. Okay. That's not so bad then. This is much better than it was. And then they still can't get quite up here. Okay. Well. We're not completely screwed. We're only up to our ankles. We're kobolds, so it's probably more like waists. Back to figuring out how do I hole a hole in obsidian tubular hole with magma to not flood my fort, but to just flood the defenses because my 12 people aren't gonna increase for a bit unless they initiate mitosis due to the hell world I decided to build in. Fun. Sounds like an adventure. Sorry, I am also kind of distracted. I hole a hole in an obsidian tubular hole with magma to not flood my fort and just flood the defenses. Yeah, it's hard to give too much advice without seeing it, but magma is fun. Magma is great fun. Just remember that water pressure and magma pressure exists. Just keep that one in mind. It's complex, so Unity means there is more mod support, but as it used to be their own engine, they had their own easy system to mod. Change an engine broke all the mods. So now 6 months later, mods are trickling in, but it was a harsh move. Studio found it super hard. So they're not against mods, but they did break every mod. That's still pretty rough. That's pretty rough. I can imagine there's a lot of people who like want to play the game and will probably buy the game someday, but are specifically holding off until mods start coming back in. Like waiting for the mods to happen before they buy the game, which for the publisher means you don't get their money, right? Until the modders have fixed your game for you. That's a rough spot to be in. I can see that. Something like that can't write very cogently while working front. 5-star on TripAdvisor. Tubular magma hole equals volcano. Hellworld equals haunted biome max savagery. Forgotten beast sensitivity to max and hella titan spawns. Fun! Heck yeah. We haven't had too much of our mega beast situation has not been too out of control in this world. Maybe we should crank that up for our next world. This fortress has had 0 forgotten beasts. And I think it's because of our location. We're on an ocean. We're right by an ocean, on a glacier. And also our caves have like 3 tiles that actually touch the edge of the embark. So there aren't even a lot of places for creatures to get in. But we've had 0 forgotten beasts here. I guess we should check our animals, right? We're curious to see if more animals come in off the map. Still just 2 pond grabbers. And what the merchants brought. The mods work on the previous game still, but it used to be just copy and paste it over to the folder each year. That era is over. Is this a Steam game? Can they do like Steam Workshop stuff? So it's a little more some sort of official mod handling system, or is it literally just like download off shady website and put into folder style modding? Fine balance, to be honest, on the scale. While each pawn in the game has a lot of detail and perhaps a lot, there is a level of detachment and obfuscation. True. It's true how, like, we do get like an oddly verbose amount of information in some senses and then like nothing in others. Kind of an interesting mix. Small studio also totally struggled getting all their people to learn Unity. It was a broken mess of a game and people got mad. Tough as I have a bit of sympathy with the studio, but they did release a broken game. I mean, at the end of the day. They're small, so they're small, but they're owned by Sega. So not tiny. Not tiny, and they've been around, they've been doing this for a bit, right? This isn't like their second go around at it. Switching to a new system has got to be tricky. I can imagine that being hard. Also, a heck of a time to choose a switch to Unity, right? I wonder why they decided that. I thought we didn't like Unity anymore. They kind of pissed everyone off in their own drama, right? So it's funny to be upsetting your player base by switching to something that has already upset everyone else. RimWorld, very granular, more direct control, and you can do a lot with fewer pawns, but we pull out, then you basically be lemmings, right? I still haven't played RimWorld. and I'm not even like avoiding it, right? It's just like I have Dwarf Fortress right here. I've already put in all the effort to learn Dwarf Fortress. Okay, this is slowly coming together. Slowly, slowly, slowly. The sad world without forgotten beasts, it's true. It's a little less dynamic, isn't it? I think we'll crank some stuff up. We'll mess with some sliders in the next world. Honestly, this world was my first real attempt at advanced world generation. I usually just go with the defaults as far as like all those kinds of sliders go. Like here we messed with volcanism to wonderful effect. We have a lot of great volcanoes in this world. But you can mess with so much other stuff, and I've never really played around with it. I think that's going to be something we have to do for the next world. Would have had 25 colonists, but a vile mist kind of decided to exist at the same time. Yeah. That evil weather. We really lucked out with our recent evil fortress. Our previous fortress was in an evil forest, but it didn't have that kind of evil weather. We just had blood rain, which is like gross and upsets everyone, but isn't actually dangerous. I've had a couple forts in the past where like a cloud comes in and kills everyone on the surface, and that's its own thing. Are you in a reanimating biome? Evil weather and reanimating biome sounds like a real fun combination. Working on the Unity move since 2020. Oh God. Oh God. I thought the Unity licensing made it impractical for large projects money-wise. That was kind of my impression, even for small projects. I thought, because it wasn't like a flat fee, or were they taking a percentage? I wasn't paying too close attention to the details, because it didn't affect me directly. I just saw people being like, "What?" The thing that used to be cool is no longer cool. Rah! One funny thing people did is realize this other football game uses the same engine, so this guy hacked into the files and just pulled all the stadiums into Football Manager, so suddenly these amazing stadiums come in. I'm sure the other game was real happy about that. Good news! Everyone's using our assets. Bad news, no one is paying us. Think they backtracked on what they did. Did they? They wanted a cut on each sale or something. That's right. I think they backtracked, but it was like way late. They might have watered down what they were doing, but I don't think they fully I don't think they returned to how it was before. But I mean, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I should not speak on things I do not know while the camera's running. Do it all the time off stream. Honestly, I find RimWorld to be the superior game, to be honest, in that it does simulation far better and is less gamified and more interesting in and of itself just as a game. Interesting. I've heard people go both ways on that. I mean, the big obvious difference in my mind between Dwarf Fortress and RimWorld is that RimWorld is finished, right? Like you buy RimWorld and you get a game that is intended to be complete, to feature complete. And Dwarf Fortress is not that, for better or worse. I'm sure many people would say worse, but like how do you judge Dwarf Fortress when we haven't even fully seen Dwarf Fortress, right? We're playing half of Dwarf Fortress right now. We're playing like 53% of Dwarf Fortress. There's only so many judgments I'm willing to make. The mist turns into vile mist zombies. Ooh, fun. Fun. I've also heard of Song of Six. I haven't played Song of Six. Don't know much about it. I've just seen people talk about it. The other game is owned by Konami, and Jimquisition viewers know how we feel about Konami. Fair. People do really like RimWorld. Yeah, RimWorld definitely has its dedicated fans. And I'm not gonna like poo-poo it, right? Like, it looks like a well-crafted game. It's just a different game. Do you have not RimWorld? Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I felt like the opposite, but... Yeah, RimWorld is more... My impression of RimWorld, because I haven't played it, is that it's a little more abstracted, right? Like, Dwarf Fortress likes to simulate too much. I don't think RimWorld goes quite that hard on it. But because of it, you get more of a playable game experience, right? As opposed to this random sandbox that we have fun in. Dwarf Fortress is a living document kind of simulation game, while RimWorld is just a game with sim-like elements. Yes. RimWorld is what happens when you play Dwarf Fortress and say, oh, hey, this would be cool as a game. What if someone turned this into a game? That's my impression of RimWorld. Which, I mean, good on them, right? They created a game that is popular, a game that people enjoy. They did it in 1/10 the time that Dwarf Fortress has taken and will take. Like, from a game development perspective, they made the correct choice. But Tarn isn't making game development decisions, right? That's not what's motivating him. That's the main difference. If your motivation is to make a piece of software that people buy and enjoy and give you money for and turns a profit, then they made all the right choices. We just don't do that here. That's something that blows my mind too. This is, okay. So these days, in the last handful of years since the Steam version came out, Dwarf Fortress is a game that you can go on to Steam and buy, right? But that's kind of a new thing. It didn't used to work that way. Back before the premium version, like, the reason it's called the premium version is because the other version was free. Before the Steam version came out, no one was charged, and, like, you were never required to pay. I didn't pay. One of the reasons I was so, like, I am immediately gonna... Oh, we got migrants. We got some migrants. I totally missed it. It was such an easy choice for me to make to buy the premium version, because I'd been playing for a decade for free. And there was never even a peep of, like, oh, hey, maybe you should give us some money. It's not like WinZip coming up with a little, like, your free trial has expired, right? It's not like, it's never been like that. And it's only ever been supported by donations, which is really interesting to think about in, like, today's creator economy, when I think that's kind of slowly becoming a more mainstream way of doing things. It's how I would like to do things, right? I don't want to have products and lock things behind subscriptions. I just want to make things and then have people support me if they feel motivated to do so, right? And part of the reason why I've had that in my mind as a functional business plan is because Dwarf Fortress has been doing it this whole time. This whole time. Hey, thanks for the follow. Thank you, thank you. But like, just to put it in perspective, Dwarf Fortress was surviving off of donations before Patreon existed. Just for context. Just for context, right? I remember there being a post, like one of his like monthly status update posts, where they turned on Patreon. They're like, yeah, well, like they just ran their own processor on their website. It was literally just, would you like to donate? And they processed it directly on their website. And that was the only way they could get money. And they were surviving. They weren't like wealthy or anything, but they were surviving. And then they started a Patreon. And their income doubled. I remember them saying that. Just the difference between taking donations on the website and taking donations through Patreon doubled their income. And then that was enough for them to make it to the Steam era. And I find that straight up inspiring. The fact that that's been possible this whole time. Because we're seeing more and more creators, I think, like on YouTube, move away from the sponsor and ad model. And I think some people feel it's like, oh, maybe it won't work, or, you know, it's a big shift. You've been getting that sponsor money and then you don't, like, just don't get the sponsor money. I'm sure that's rough. But it's been possible this whole time, right? It's not a new development that you can survive just off of donations. I don't even know if donation's the right word to use there. Like yes, it's donations, but like tips, right? Non-mandatory spending from your audience. I don't know what the best word for that is. I think we got like, we're back up to 150. We got a handful of migrants, and I totally missed them, so I don't know who they are. Are they gonna be down here? No, not really. Who knows? We have more people. You're all typing as I'm just talking to myself. Rimworld is micro, DF is meso, and Saga of Six is macro. I guess I could see that. Dwarf Fortress definitely has micro elements, but also definitely has macro elements, right? I think there's some overlap there, I think. This is someone who has sunk over 600 hours in... is that it? Is that all? Just imagine Rimworld dying with 15 colonists while Dwarf Fortress has its hundreds and Song of Six has its thousands of colonists. Thousands? Really? That's cool. Yeah, do you not get that many people in Rimworld? Do you not get up to 200 people in Rimworld? I do sometimes think that Dwarf Fortress would be fun with like 1,000 citizens, but I just made everyone's computer cry just by saying that. See, Tynan is less interesting a creator than Tarn. Is Tynan the Rimworld? I don't know if interesting is kind of a judgy word to use, I think. I don't know if I would go that far. They're allowed to have different priorities, right? I think that's fine. I don't think the creators of RimWorld were setting out to make Dwarf Fortress, you know? There's... Oh, look! A siege. Okay, perfect. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Now everyone's downstairs and wet. Great. I'm actually going to save. Because the last time we had a siege, we had that issue with our siege engines and people not using them. So we're gonna see if we can make it work this time. For Steam, it was donation funded. Yes, entirely donation funded. There was no way to pay for Dwarf Fortress as like a product before. Started playing DF when I was a baby and didn't have any money to buy games, right? I bought it and gifted it to some friends once it came out. Exactly. The fact that games like this exist, that you can just play, right? In a day and age where you can pay 60 bucks for a game and then have it disappear a year later, right? This has just been free this whole time. You can still get it for free. You won't get the graphics. You won't get the music, but you can still play this game for free. Say RimWorld has the most customizable and modability given the entire life's work, as Mr. Samuel Streamer's creative output can attest. Most customizable? I don't know. We'll see how that compares once Dwarf Fortress gets all the Lua stuff going proper, right? This game is going to be a very intricate modding platform, and not that long in the future. Remember, the Zip app can be bought, but is also free for everyone. Right. But the Zip app bugs you about it, is my point. Like, Dwarf Fortress has never been in your face like, oh, you should give us some money. We're fully donation supported, and you haven't given, so maybe you should give us some money. I'm hungry, you should give me money, right? Dwarf Fortress has never been that way. If you did not go to the forums and see people talking about it, and like, you can play the game with... You don't need to be on the website looking at these donation links to play the game. You don't have to, like, you have to go looking for it. It doesn't just plaster itself in front of your eyes. That, to me, that's the difference. Thousand Citizens feels less personalized. True. True, we wouldn't know many people's names. I agree with that. Song of Six beginner is up to 500 people, mid-game 5k, late game 40k. Wow, based on the interest, but who knows? Interest? Interesting. Interesting. Little harsh, to be fair. Tynan has formed it well enough into his own thing with his own sensibilities. It was literally a graphics clone of Prison Simulator, right? And it's evolved to encompass so much more. I was wondering why they look so similar. That explains a lot. Prison Simulator is its own kind of ball of wax, isn't it? Right about the Lua stuff. I'm really interested to see what happens in the long term with the Lua stuff. Need someone who is up on Lua to give a full look. Yeah, and I don't know Lua. I have some self-taught Python knowledge, right? I don't have any real Lua knowledge. But my understanding is that it's quite powerful, and once we have all of the potential on the game side, the potential on the mod side is going to be baffling. It's going to be overwhelming. Tarn is on that No Man's Sky levels of generosity. And he's been doing it before it was cool. I think that's maybe my main point, right? Like, it doesn't seem so unusual these days, but he's been doing it the whole time. The whole time. Okay. Siege. Let's siege. Army is commanded by the Goblin Talus Search Spites, a competent commander. Beware their elite Goblin Macemen. Cool. So, I'm going to designate these as firing at enemies. I'm going to hope that people show up and do it. There's also a bunch of elves in the trade depot. We're going to pull this lever. We're going to see if we can pull this lever real quick. We have so many people downstairs that this is going to be actually a little tricky. We have enough people down beneath our fortress that, I hope people get up here. So we even have a random polar bear up here. There's a couple people in our tavern. Yeah, there's a couple people up over here. Not a lot though. Not a lot. I do want people on these. And then down here, I want people on these. And then our squads are luckily like right here. But I'm gonna station them here. So they stay here. Look at all these bears. We have so many bears. How many bears do we have? Four screens worth. Might have upwards of 50 polar bears. Giant polar bears. Okay, we're gonna see if this works. I have these designated as firing on enemies. Someone should be closing this lever. We're firing up here. I had an idea about levers the other day, which would be useful in this situation, but we didn't do it, so we'll have to figure that out later. I'm gonna unpause and hope that a bunch of people take these jobs. See, there's only a few people assigned there. I don't know if it's just gonna take a moment. No operator. Which ones are these? Oh, right, yeah, I don't want anyone on these. So that is correct. These are all just loaded. Okay. We should also turn on our alert. They're all gonna enter the map. Sweet. We're up to 46. So now, operator assigned to the ballistas. Operator assigned to 2 of these. I hope this works. One thing I wanted to learn in Dwarf Fortress is to make magma minecarts for war, and also a cool site to see when lava gets shot above. Also, how hot does the weather have to be for vile mist zombie to combust into flames when summer arrived? Probably that won't ever happen. Considering our failed experiments with generating steam by putting fire snakes into water, not creating steam, I don't think temperature works that way. Though that would be hilarious, just zombies melting in the sun. Magma minecarts are cool. I want to say there's stuff like that on the wiki. The wiki has some really intricate designs on it, if you look in the right places. Or the forum, honestly. the forum has been around for so long and people have been talking about that kind of stuff for so long, I bet you can find just like a full-on blueprint on the forum. Non-standard uses. Minecarts include interesting characteristics that have motivated uses beyond hauling. They can be useful for getting fully automated quantum stockpiles, true, garbage disposal, water reactors, and portable drains. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Storing perishable goods inside a minecart appears to guard them against rotten vermin. Minecarts can be used as weapons or as hopefully non-fail triggers to restart stalled healthcare. What? But then like, yeah, this link's here. Yeah, trap design. There's a minecart section on the trap design page. Minecart grinder, shotgun, water magma gun. Minecarts submerged in water fill themselves with liquid, which then counts as quite heavy object. Using the shotgun effect, this allows for a weapon without need to manually load minecarts, resulting in higher rate of fire and fewer dwarves running on potentially lethal tasks. First proposed here, and it links to the forums, with an updated version here, which links to the forums. I would check those out. That's going to be a good place to start. Then I have questions, what I saw. That's fair. I haven't actually looked at these. Ask me questions. If you have a specific question, ask. I'm gonna I'm gonna be sweaty about this seed real quick. If I have to reload because they don't take the siege engine jobs, I will. That's why we saved. I would love for it to just work. I would love for it to work. It just says no operator. So if I... like if I just do this, right? And then we go forward a tiny bit and then try this again. Didn't change anything. There's a one person here. And you're hungry. Oh, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Yeah, it doesn't want to assign operators. I don't know why it says no operator, because we have so many operators. Should I lock them to siege operating for a moment? Like, what if I do this? We'll undo this after the siege. Nothing so far. Okay, well, the door closed. That's a major thing. That didn't happen last time. Yeah, interesting. It's interesting that the ballistas seem to be fine. Though, of course, the operator isn't actually here. But the bolt throwers just aren't getting anyone assigned to them. Should I just reload now? And then they're gonna not... yeah, okay. That's the bigger problem, if they don't actually fire. Oh, yup. Okay, I'm just gonna reload. We're just gonna reload. I'm gonna see if it changes. So creatures can die to temp due to scorching temperature. The fat, yeah. So how did he combust? I'm wondering, because I would so you had a zombie combust? I would understand if he was next to the volcano, but he was at the opposite side of it, and it was the only fire that existed. Just combusted? Was there a fire, like a magma crab? I've seen magma crabs crawl out of volcanoes onto the surface and light things on fire. That can definitely happen. But you would see a magma crab. That's a good question. I've never seen anything light on fire due to temperature. I'm not saying it's not possible, but that is not something I've observed. I'm gonna reset. You know what? I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna say all of them turn off for a moment. And then these I'm gonna turn on. And we're just gonna do like, what if I just do 3 at a time? Well, one got assigned. Okay, well that's a good start. Even if we only get one up here, honestly. Let's try that. Still says no operator. We should probably turn on our civilian alert. But I wonder if that's having an impact, because, I mean, they should be able to get in here. Right? Did I accidentally cut them off? They should be allowed to be in there. Oh, but like the siege engines themselves are outside? Is that what's happening? What does that mean? Not sure how that happened. Oh, and then here. Okay, maybe that will help. Of course, a second ago, we didn't even have them restricted to the burrow. Nobody assigned. You know what? I'm gonna say we're not gonna have our alert turned on. Hopefully, someone is coming by to pull this lever. These are all assigned to fire. Well, we're gonna see what happens again. Don't tell me the mist makes exploding zombies that explode on death, or did I mess with a temp somehow while world gen and made that part of the map melt his gear into magma and set him on fire? That could be. You know? I think you could melt someone's armor off of them. I wouldn't discount the possibility of it being your evil biome. Because it sounds like you have a fun one. I have not encountered that. Okay, ooh, now they're all assigned. Okay, maybe that'll work. Let's see what happens now. Okay, and now you're here. And you can fire, yes. Okay, well that door closed. That's still fine. How about you actually do it? How about you do the thing? Exploding flame zombifying mist sounds fun. It sounds very fun. That sounds hilariously fun. That sounds catastrophically fun. Set to fire at will? Yes. That's what I just did, right? Yeah. So these are all set to fire. Fire at enemies. Fire at enemies. What if I do stand ready but do not fire and then fire? But you go away and then come back. And see, you're just still... Why? You have everything you need right here. Will also target enemies. Interesting. Oh, ooh, okay. But see, now you're just gonna go straight ahead. Okay. So now if I do this, you stop. What the hell, little man? What the hell? If they do explode, I'm gonna make a kill box pit with a way for mist to get in and turn them in battle down there. Yeah, there you go. Little holding tank. It sounds like you're in a science situation, is what I would say. Whatever is happening deserves some investigation. So... you can practice. Oh, there you go. That's so weird. Okay, and now you're gonna fire. Okay. Maybe we got it now. I don't know. Maybe it's when assigning things when we're paused. That seemed to be different. The difference there. Okay, well, they're all gonna start going down this way. We don't have a way to cover down here, aside from our stuff up here. So we have like a little bunker down here. Might be more than we need. Problem is I have very limited supply of hands. Yes, that is traditionally the issue. We already have goblins coming into our corridor here. But I think... I mean, this is gonna help. Yeah. Got some hidden ones. Oh, down here. Oh, they just straight up snuck in. Wow. How's siege going? It is going. We just had some goblins get into our barracks here, which is where they belong. We do now have 2 people actually firing. I don't know what changed to make that happen. A lot of them are sneaking out around this way, which is actually really smart of them, because this is kind of a nice kill corridor for us when we actually have people standing here. So we might need to adjust our stuff. Yeah, okay, so now our squads are gonna get mad. We're okay so far. Things aren't working flawlessly, but no one's dead yet. Does someone in a cage exposed to the mist become undead? If so, I have many troglodyte hands. That is a great question. Cages are kind of interesting in that things in cages, like they don't starve, they don't drown, they don't age. Can you put a troglodyte on a chain? If you can put a troglodyte on a chain, you could do that. But cages can be weird sometimes. Cages can make you invincible sometimes. Okay, and then you are empty, so you're gonna go reload, right? I actually want to see this happen. So you're gonna load. Are you just gonna grab bolts? You're grabbing a bunch of bolts. You're grabbing a bunch of bolts. And then you're gonna attempt to haul them up very slowly. Uh-oh. Siege operator found dead. Oh. Why was there a siege operator out here? Were you in a squad? No, you're just wandering around because I don't have my civilian alert on. Well, our squad up here is going to do fine. And now you are firing from up here. Okay. That is much better. I like that much better. And then you are firing. And you are firing. Yes. Okay. Game is struggling. But I like this. We have corpses up here. You are loading. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I'm a little miffed about our siege engineer, but only so much we can do about that. You still have operators assigned to everything. And that's really what matters. So our polar bear squad is just gonna do their thing and clear out our hallway. All these ranged goblins. Wow. Wow, they're all just gonna cram in here. But we are firing at them from above. There is an unconscious goblin out here. They're just all on our ramp here. But we've effectively split them in half. So one large group of them came down and around here into the only entrance that we have open. They're now being peppered from above and getting pushed back from within. I should probably also turn off the ballistas because I don't want friendly fire. But this can keep going. But then this group up here has kind of been pinned down. This is empty. There's still stuff there, but now you are loading bolt throwers from right there. Oh, the system works. I mean, you are loading. You're almost empty. Okay. So they're gonna go back and reload. Oh, you are currently loading. Wow. Okay. So most of the action right now is happening down here. Jeez. We've not lost any soldiers. And then now they're just gonna work their way up the ramp. And then whatever backup they thought they were gonna have is gonna get peppered from above. Can we even see? Might not have line of sight down there. Nope, never mind. That seems fine. And then now their squad is up here. Wow. They're just waiting here in the entrance, waiting for this poor goblin to bleed to death around the corner. But then, yeah, that's gonna be a dead goblin. Okay, so up here now we have this going. We have you going. We have you going. Look at this. Okay, this is how it's supposed to work. This is what's supposed to happen the whole time. This is great. They can even reload in the midst of a siege and get multiple goes at it. Yeah, wow. Yeah. And they're just completely scattered at this point. Okay. There's like a couple down here. So I'm going to take our squads. I'm going to station them over here. So they're all going to come down and clear out the rest of these, right? This is Kuro. Oh, our guard captain is seriously injured. Did everyone else go inside? They all went back inside. You all left your captain out there? They just left the captain out there. Okay. Well, I hope you're fine. This troll is unconscious. No one's shooting at you. I would love for you to shoot here. I think that's just a line of sight issue, though. Though you were loading. You were loading, but you should be able to fire. Oh, you... Kuro here. Kuro is the nephew of the king. What are your injuries? Cannot stand, cannot grasp, nerve damage. Tail's mangled, neck is torn open, lip is cut open, cheek is mangled, head is torn open, claws torn open, foot is torn open, eyelid is cut open, wrist is dented, wrist is bruised, arm is bruised, ankle is bruised, right elbow is bruised. So a lot of cuts and at least one head injury, but we've seen much worse. And then up here is just carnage. Up here appears to be fine. I think the only thing I'm worried about right this moment is Kuro. Because this stupid, also injured elite bowman. And our squads, I mean, they're... Go to drill, fill water skin. No, I want you to save your squad leader. How about I just give a kill order right here? Well, the troll died. Kuro, if you save yourself... Okay, here's the cavalry. No, they're wrestling. You did it! Help arrived just in time, but you did it all on your own. Kuro! That was fantastic. I really hope you live. We're down to 6 invaders. We do have 3 injured. So Koman, the polar bear person, is injured but still walking around, and then Lalsa is also a soldier and is going to go rest, but like 2 of our 3 injured people are walking to the hospital on their own. So that seems great. I'm gonna tell our squad to come up and kill the remainder of the goblins up here. I imagine very few of them are gonna... I think some of them are gonna try to run off. Oh, it still says the siege is active. But I've turned off the civilian alert in hopes that someone comes out and grabs Kuro. Annoyed in a snowstorm. So do we have anyone with... We Recover wounded. So Shazar C is way the heck down here. He's coming for Kuro. Just have to hope that Kuro doesn't bleed out in the meantime. And they're all just loading. Zriller here. Charging into the fray. Wow. Wow. Zriller wanted a kill. You have 15 kills already. Wow. Siege done. Masterwork was lost. Did someone run off with something? What would you have run off with? Did you run off with a Masterwork bolt in your head? Okay, we have one dead siege operator because they tried to run outside because I didn't have the alert turned on. And we have one seriously injured person here who needs to be recovered. Other than that, that was a successful siege. That was a pretty successful siege, I think. Considering we still had a hard time getting people to fire the bolt throwers. Come on, someone grab Kuro. There we go. Anyways, this fort's goal still is going to be a sacrificial drop of enemy faction leaders into a magma pit with, who knows, maybe combustible undead. Exploding zombies would be great. If you had a way to reproduce exploding zombies, that would be pretty cool. One thing I do like about RimWorld, if an attacker has enough moxie and you like them, you can recruit them. Interesting. I think things like that will happen eventually. I don't know if quite that level, but like, I know more diplomacy options is something that's going to happen sooner rather than later. I don't know about that specifically, but like, someone has bestowed a name on a battle axe. Like right now, the only real way we can interact with other entities on the world map is like, you can attack them, you can siege them, you can demand tribute, try to occupy them. That's about it, right? There aren't a whole lot of like, maybe we'll negotiate some sort of thing kind of a deal. Okay, so here's our 3 injured civilians, or 3 injured soldiers rather. Komon is probably the one I care about the most, but I think she has the least serious injury as well. Lower arm is cut open, yeah. So Kuro is gonna be fine. Lalsa here, her neck is torn open. So, you know, a good injury, but seems to be fine. And then Kuro here really took the brunt of it and is now feeling guilty for resting and recuperating. Okay, siege done. I'm gonna go ahead and save, since apparently all that working is not guaranteed for us. I want to give my goblin caged freaks to see if they can turn over a new leaf. You mean like convincing the goblins to work for you? I think that'd be cool. Like, you can get goblins that show up and they're like friendly and they want to be a monster hunter or whatever. Like, we've had goblin sages or whatever, right? But I think it would be cool if they could like change during gameplay. I think it's mostly like, this goblin is attacking. This goblin is a scholar, right? We don't have any control over that or any influence over that at all. I think it'd be cool to be able to be like, listen, our fortress is really nice, really deadly, fully impenetrable, but if you would like to come in and write some books, you are totally welcome to. And then we can like slowly convert an evil goblin nation to being friendly with us because of an interaction like that. I think that would be really cool. You'd be like, okay, you're alive, we have enemies other than each other, want to be recruited as a war party and sent on raids. Yeah. Or like, say we want to hire mercenaries, right? We put out word to the world that we are accepting recruits. Who else is stranded? No one? Okay, you're just saying things. We are actively hiring mercenaries. And you just, you make the best pitch you can. Here's our fortress. It's very nice. Here's how secure it is. Here's all the booze we have. We have all these nice statues. If you would like to come fight for us, no questions asked. We'll give you a wage, right? Because there's no real paying money in this game. But if you want to come fight for us, then we will let you live here. Kind of like an exchange in that way. Who does it think it's... That's strange. And then have some way for that to convince a goblin that otherwise would be attacking you from a goblin fortress to be like, maybe I do want to be a mercenary. And they leave their goblin civilization and come to you as a mercenary. And after so many years of being a mercenary for you, they're like, you know what? Maybe this is my home. Maybe I do live with the dwarves now. Some sort of natural way for people to move about in that way. I think that would be cool. Oh, there's dangerous terrain. Now back to the aquifer. Oh, we should open our door. That's all fine. You are still seriously injured, but I see some soap. You've been soaped. Geez. Head needs sutures, neck needs dressing. Tail needs immobilization. You broke your tail? The fact that we have to immobilize the tail, that kind of like emergentness, like this is a modded race, right? Dwarves do not have tails. The default playable race does not have tails. But you can just put in a race that has tails. You tell the game that tails have bones in them, and now all of a sudden, the game just understands that if someone gets stabbed too hard in the tail, part of their treatment involves immobilizing the tail. That just happens. It just happens. It's so good. It's so good. I'm sorry. Mercenaries would be fun, maybe even draw from wild beast people? Yes, absolutely. Weird sundry types, experiments, people of dubious backgrounds, vampires, etc. Yeah. Or like cave people, just cave dwellers. A lot of people have said, and I think we will eventually get more developed cave civilizations. Not civilizations per se, but like they'll be more organized in some way for us to interact with. I think that would also be cool. Like imagine a plump helmet man monster hunter. That would be a character. I mean, this is going. Evaluated, cleaned with llama soap, received sutures on horn. You can suture the horn? That's funny. Received sutures on tail, had tail set. I think Kuro's gonna be fine. And the other two are already gone. I think we're good. Oh, I need to like tell them to not be on the siege engines. We'll just say keep loaded for everything. Except for these two, which are stand ready but do not fire. And then we need to open this. And now someone left all these corpses around. Someone left a big mess here. I think what we're gonna do is make sure we get our... you can tell that we're dealing with aquifer because we're draining into the cave. This is aquifer overflow. Right? Because none of this is leaking. This is just... Yikes. Hopefully that's not going too bad. Because it's coming from here. We need some doors. I'm gonna put a door here, a door here, a door here. Or some of those. I'm gonna put a door here. So that our water goes down here instead, because this is our drain. Because that's fine for it to go. And then our big project, like this level was fine. This level is bone dry. Then I was like, let's try it up here. And that was a choice that I made. Okay, we're gonna unpause. Continue smoothing and digging and all the things. That's all, they're working on it. Until at 20 FPS. As you do. But this level is generally fine. There's like, it's all 1s and 2s down here. There's some 3s up here, but we're smoothing. We're draining from here. It's deeper up here, but we haven't... This part's kind of scary because we're not draining on this top side really at all. But we are also smoothing. So we'll slowly start doing less. I think that's the important part. Okay. But we've dealt with aquifer in this area. This is all looking pretty good. That's all looking pretty good. I think if we dig through here, that'll help. Okay. Clearly I'm spending quite a bit of time on this. As you do. Some of this is just drying out. Ooh, wow. Some of this is just straight up turning to mud. That's a very good sign. A very good sign. I think we successfully didn't murder our fortress. Yeah, wow. Or does that... Nope. Yeah, okay. So, this is neither here nor there. Oh, I have two things I should talk about. Remind me to talk about our lever idea. I have a lever idea. But so my speedrun record was recently beaten. And I will be going for it again. But some of the conversation that we've had is something that I did not necessarily appreciate is the value created by engraving the walls of valuable veins. Like just engraving a platinum vein creates a lot of fortress wealth. Head to bed, it's 2 o'clock, so a bit late. Okay, well, experimenting tomorrow with exploding undead sounds good. I'm very curious to know. We will be back here on Thursday. I don't stream every day, but we will be back at this on Thursday, same time. And I want to hear about it. I want the science. And yeah, among the science, is apparently you can just... I mean, they were talking about like leaving the vein and engraving the walls. I don't even know if that's necessary. I'm curious if you can just mine out the vein and then engrave the floor and just call it good. Like if we're talking about fortress wealth, that's gonna make some wealth. But the other thing that came out of that conversation was, why not do that with the candy vein? Like, okay, so we're currently sitting at 5.4 million created wealth, or total wealth. Yeah, created wealth. But if we come down here to, say, this room, which has all these diamond and ruby walls, and then a big thing of adamantine in the middle here, an adamantine floor, and diamond floor, etc., etc. Like, isn't that just a really badass tavern? Wouldn't the game just consider that to be an amazing tavern? I think I'm gonna wait until we've made it less safe, or made it more safe. I think I'm gonna make it less safe in the short term. But like, there's no reason we can't. Just literally smooth and engrave this room. Make it a room. Call it good. The more practical thing is levers. I don't know do I want to deal with that now? My idea is that our lever room now exists in a space that is not very well trafficked. I mean, it's fairly well trafficked at this point, but like half of our fortress is upstairs, half of our fortress is down here, and then a bunch of stuff is like way far down below us. So there aren't really people hanging out next to our levers like there were when we first started and this was like our main tavern. Also, there's just pools of troll blood by the well. And it's tempting to say, well, we just need to move the lever room to a more centralized location or a busier location so that people are closer when it comes time to rush to a lever and pull it. But another thing that we could do, another way we could approach that. Kitten, yes. Oh, she's been hanging out with her catnip up there all stream. Instead of having the lever room in the perfect spot, why not several lever rooms? And it can get kind of weird to hook multiple levers to like a gate, right? It wouldn't necessarily work out to just have 5 different levers in your fortress connected to one drawbridge. Because then if you tell them to pull all 5 levers, I mean, the first time you do it, it'd be fine because every time they pull a lever, when you pull a lever, it doesn't give like a change state signal, it gives an on or an off signal. That's a really important thing to know about levers in this game, by the way. Levers do not send a change, they send on or off, or up or down or whatever, open or closed. So if you have 2 levers assigned to a bridge, and they're in opposite states, one of them won't do anything. Right? Either way you have it. Had problems linking multiple levers to bridge gates, finding this out? Yes. I have experienced this pain. There is a solution though. There is a solution, and we did something very similar in our leopard bin's fortress. We can make a latch. You'd have to do one for each of the things that you want to control in multiple ways. So I wouldn't do this for every lever. I wouldn't do this for every one of these, right? But for something important like our trade depot drawbridge that needs to be closed very quickly at a moment's notice, I think for something like that, we get a bit fancy. It's mostly a matter of picking where it should be. But basically what you would do is you would have, like, it's gonna be a couple Z levels high, right? I have my little draw pad, don't I? Can I? Yeah, I forget about this thing. So if you have, it's gonna be a couple Z levels high, right? This is a side view. I think it needs to be like this. So say you have water up here. Say you have green water up here. And then this is a hatch. And this hatch doesn't need to be here. But it's just like so this is 3 sea levels high. You have multiple levers all attached here. And then you have a button, and the button is attached to the drawbridge. And then from there, you just need like a reset mechanism, right? That's the base, that's the premise of the mechanism. And then you use a pair of screw pumps to pump the water out and reset it. What this allows you to do is have all of your levers connected to this hatch. The first one that gets pulled Like, it doesn't matter which of them gets pulled. You would have to reset them each time, but that's fine. Whichever one gets pulled, releases the hatch, the water drops, pushes the button, raises the drawbridge. And then all of the other levers get pulled and nothing happens because the water's already down here. The pumps are off, right? You leave the pumps off, except for when you want to reset it. So the water's going to stay there no matter what these levers do. And the water stays on the button, keeps the button depressed until the moment where, you know, the danger has passed. You want the gate to go back down again. So you turn on the pumps. You reset all these levers so that the hatch is closed again. Turn on the pumps. The water pumps out back up to here, goes into its little staging area. Now that there's no water here, the button undepresses and it opens the bridge. And then at that point, you're reset and you're good to go for the next round of it, right? There might be I'm wondering if there's a simpler answer. But this is the premise of a latch. And the strength of it is that, like, it doesn't matter at all how many levers you have. You can have an infinite number of levers. You can have one lever. You could put a lever in everyone's bedroom and have them all connected to the same hatch. And someone rolls out of bed, pulls a lever, goes back to sleep. Doesn't actually work that way. But someone's going to be near a lever, right? That's my thought. That's my thought for distributed lever system. We have a mysterious construction happening at the Leatherworks. Interesting. And we did basically the same mechanism in Leopard Bends for a different purpose. It was more so that it was more of a safety. Because we had a secret entrance to the fortress, so we wanted to have a lever on the outside of the fortress that an adventurer could pull to open the gate, but only if the arming lever on the inside of the fortress has been pulled first, so that a random goblin couldn't just walk by and pull it and get access to the fortress, right? Is there an upper limit of how many triggers can link to an object? I don't think so. I think you could fill your entire map with levers and connect them to one hatch. I don't think there's a limit. I don't think there's actually a limit. Think about ridiculous amounts of pressure plates. Yes. Yeah, why not? You could, yeah, that'd be fun to have it automated. The other thing about pressure plates is that you can set what triggers a pressure plate. So you can say this pressure plate is only triggered by enemies, which I think is a hilarious, like, some sort of AI detection algorithm on all these buttons. They know when it's a hostile person coming in. Or I guess it's creatures. Yeah, maybe not. No, citizens do not trigger. Yeah. You can even set the weight. Like, buttons are... Pressure plates are insane. Pressure plates are very, very useful. You could line the entire outside of your map with buttons that are only triggered by enemies and have them all connected to one bridge. Or all connected to one hatch, which triggers a bridge. Right? Nothing prevents you from doing that. You could do that. I don't think that'd be a very bad idea. It would take a lot of mechanisms. Your machinist is going to spend some time getting all those links going. But there's nothing that prevents you from doing that. And buttons are interesting too, because buttons you wouldn't have to reset. You would just say siege over, you turn on the pumps, you pump the water back up. But like if like we have a button connected to a hatch up here, right? for different purposes. And it just closes itself after a second. Like, you don't have to repress the button to close the hatch. It just stays open for a bit and then closes. So like right here. We just have a button. It tosses the garbage into the incinerator. Then they leave, and then the hatch closes, and I don't have to even think about it. So that might even be simpler. You wouldn't even need the levers. Craftbold has created Rizza Sassel. Sassy Riz, a 2-humped camel leather quiver. Ooh. Ooh. Toss it in the vault. Eventually. Quiver got that Riz. Riz Sassel. I like it. Okay. I do want to get rid of the miasma causing junk here. You are storing someone's skeleton. So we are going to pull this lever. I didn't need to scroll. You just haul the troll corpse all the way here. We're also going to destroy whatever's sitting here, but that's fine. Iron Morningstar and a tooth. Trying to think of other ways to do it. You could have a minecart. Have a minecart on a little loop. Like just a little circular minecart loop. Nope, other way. And then somewhere on the loop you have a button. The button is connected to your drawbridge or whatever you're trying to trigger. And then wherever you have the minecart resting, like wherever it is in its resting state, you have some rollers, some powered rollers. So you need power for that. I guess that's the big difference. But you have a minecart sitting on an unpowered roller, but it has access to power, but it's not connected. I guess that wouldn't necessarily work because you'd be connecting your levers to the mechanism that controls the roller power. Or no, that would be fine because even if someone turns it off, yeah, that would work because you have a bunch of levers connected to a mechanism that connects the rollers to the power. And then there's a button on the track that's connected to your bridge. A bunch of people go to pull the levers. The first one to pull the lever connects the power, which turns on the rollers, which sends the minecart rolling down the track and pushes the button. And then everyone else gets their levers and pulls them, and they're turning the power on and off, but it doesn't matter because the button has been pressed. But of course, the main difference there is that the button will undepress. So what you should do is have a track stop. This is intricate. This is a top-down view now. So you would have, yeah, I guess it could be, well, it wouldn't even need to be a loop. You'd have a track stop here with a button, and then you'd have tracks. And then here's your cart. I can't. Here's your button. Here's your cart. And then here's your power. And then this is just a track stop that just stops it, right? So the cart isn't even gonna have a way to come back. What you want is you want the cart to shoot forward, hit the button, and stay on the button. Because the door's only going to be closed for as long as the button is depressed. That's the main thing that would make lining your, I guess you wouldn't connect all the buttons on your map to the bridge itself, right? You connect it to a latch, so then that would work. But if you connected all the buttons to a bridge, then it would open after a second. So you want the cart to be on the button, like until you reset it. So you'd have a bunch of levers connected to your power connection here. Everyone pulls it, that sends the cart going down, pushes the button down, that raises the bridge. All these other levers get pulled, and they're just toggling the power here, connecting and unconnecting the power, but that doesn't matter because the cart is already down here pushing the button. And when the siege is over, you reset all your levers, you tell your hauler to bring your cart back over here. You would need some sort of... You would need to manually put in the hauling command. How would you do that automatically? Because if your hauling route says to return it, then someone's going to come down here and return it. Maybe you just have this in a room that's all locked. Maybe this is just you have a locked door here. So your hauling route says return the cart, but no one can get in there to actually do it because the door's locked. And then when the siege is over, you will unlock the door. Someone comes in and moves the cart off the button onto its resting spot. You reset all the levers so the power's off, and then you're reset. I don't know if that's simpler. Simpler in some ways, but more complicated in others. But same principle, right? It would still work. Hauling 29 iron arrows, and of course you're bringing it upstairs. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Of course that's... yeah, okay. That's fine. You all work on this. That is fine. This is all looking great. This is all... oh wow, they're doing good here. I like thinking about little intricate machines like that. That's one of the things that this game really excels at too, right? No other game lets you just build mad shit like that. Cool. So that will all be fine. This level is like dry. Holy cow. But I guess that makes sense because if we smooth out all the aquifer walls, and the roof isn't draining because we've mined out the roof directly above us, then there's just gonna be no water here. Fantastic. Fantastic. Look at that. Okay. We successfully averted a catastrophe. Definitely a little bit of a panicked moment when I realized what was happening here. And it was all flooded. But we survived. I didn't even kill anyone. Okay. I can't speak to how much gems we've found. I don't know if this was worth it from that perspective. But we managed to not destroy everything, so that's always nice. And now we can try to like drain this level down into this level because this level has drains on it. I don't know if I actually want to do that. Okay. We've been getting mandates. I'm not even paying attention. Make crossbows. Okay. So, multiple crises averted. Now what are we doing? I think... Oliver, how are you, Komon? It really gets me down sometimes. Glum after getting into an argument. Level 71 observer. And of course, Komon is like the least skilled of them somehow. Rithel here is level 100 plus fighter. Storlet, level 100 plus fighter. And then where's our fourth one? Moral? Mosier. Mosier is somewhere. Just like me for real. Who are you? Chorister, okay. So... You working on all this, I hope? Okay, we're working on it. I think what we want to do now is come down here. I want to do some mining. Let's wrap up today with some mining. So I'm going to say I want someone standing on this bolt thrower. I want both of our squads. I guess I want to make sure they have all their equipment if they can. And then station down here. We're going to try to dig some of this out. I do ultimately want to get down here for some more adamantine. I'm also pretty sure there's adamantine we can safely mine from here, but I don't want to risk it. Yeah, I want more candy. I want a suit of candy for a polar bear. For reasons. Oh, our new squad member, Soul, does not have a polar bear. Labor? Oh, is that the... Humans! The humans have arrived. Also, apparently we need more war giant polar bears. Jeez. No one's claimed one as a pet. I find that surprising. Let's do another 10 war-trained polar bears. And then I'm gonna eat another 5. Just to keep that manageable. You know what would be just as fanciful a designation for animal type? Small. Small elephant, small gorilla, small polar bear. There was tiny penguin. I've never seen that designation for anything except penguin. Hilariously. I'd say dwarf, but that might get confusing. True. Yeah, there's penguin, there's giant penguin. What was it called? Little penguin. There's a Wikipedia article for little penguin. Trainable animals that are hug-sized. There you go. Small creatures inhabiting Arctic oceans. They spawn in groups of 5 to 10, only as big as guinea fowl. These tiny, flightless birds are completely inoffensive, serving as little more than a distraction for a dwarf. Possess a pet value of 10, but unlike most animals, they are not trainable. Interesting. Huh. Let's get this going. Good distraction, right? I can imagine a dwarf just getting distracted and be like, oh, I need to hug the penguin. Hey, look at that. Okay. Let's just say the 2. I think that's fine. Cannot be tamed. Born to be wild. It's like the most intense, untamable creature, like hard cut to a little tiny penguin, just like, meep. Okay, let us go down here. We have someone standing on the bolt thrower here. So I'm going to designate some little mining bits. This is going to open up some stuff. I'll do like right here. Or do one at a time. We're gonna cross all of our fingers. There's Mosier. Also level 100 plus fighter. Komon seems to be lagging behind the others, which is interesting. She's also the only polar bear woman in the squad. And by lagging behind the others, I mean she's only like a 3 times legendary fighter instead of a 5 times legendary fighter. So I'm not worried. She also seems to be the last to respond to things, and maybe she's just lazier? Maybe she just sleeps more. I'm curious why that is. Please maintain your dignity. Oh, we need to ask them for specific gems, don't we? Small cut gems. I need, very specifically, there's not a search in here. Amber opal, tube agate, fortification agate, cinnamon grossular, wood opal, bandfire opal, and sunstone. Saying that out loud. Banded agates? No bandfire opal. It's different. Amber opal? Amber opal. I do want amber opal. Fortification agates, perfect. We'll see if they actually bring any. They might have some this time even. Onyx opal? No. There are so many opals. There's so many opals. Almandines, grossulars, tourmalines, fire opals. Nope, that wasn't one. Violet spessartines, kunzites, topazes, rubicels, cat's eye, amethyst, aquamarines. There are so many here, I can't believe. Okay, here's bandfire opal. Yeah, we want that one. I don't believe that this isn't all of them, right? This has to be all of them. There's so many. Sunstone. And tube agate. Okay, maybe they are actually all here. I'm gonna ask for that and nothing else. That's all I want from them. The giant penguin is fighting the human crossbowman. Why is there combat in my zoo? Is this the one that became untrained? Excuse me, O2. Human, please do not attack my creatures. I don't care if it's untrained. Why did you care? Why did you care? Giant penguin misses the human crossbowman. The penguin started it. The penguin started it. This giant penguin has reverted to a wild state years and years ago. I noticed it at some point. I don't know when it actually happened. But this particular giant penguin has been wild on a leash in our zoo for years, to no effect. Nothing has happened. And then this poor human crossbowman walks in, and the penguin attacks. So now this human is gonna probably kill this giant penguin. And this goblin doesn't care. Oh, you playing with the penguin? Okay, I'll be back later. And look how many arrows this takes. Wow, I mean, I'm sad that you're killing a penguin, but that was several direct hits from a bolt. Wow. It's still going. One giant penguin. You satisfied, O2? Satisfied improving archery. All right, well, I guess we're cooking up a penguin. Peng to be wild. Yearns for the mountains. It's true. Yearns for the glacier. Still sad no polar bear people cubs. I agree. I also wish they would procreate. So we have our 4 in the squad, right? These 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we had one of them die. I think that's all we've ever had. Because they're all quite old as well. I actually don't know how old they live. I'm not going to cheat and look and use DFAC to look. Oh, you need crossbows. We're working on it. Okay. And that happened. Okay, cool. So... And it kind of seems like it keeps going out this way. I don't know how far... Guess let's go here. Modding complex social systems for different species would be cool, yes. And I've heard Tarn talk about that too. I think it was in the most recent Future of the Fortress even, talking about how all animal behavior is essentially the same. And how it'd be cool to have more variety there. I think that's on his radar. I think it'd be cool if, like, it would be impractical. It would bug me in a gameplay sense, but it would satisfy me in a world building sense. If all the bears hibernated and all the bear people hibernated. So like we have this badass military squad, right? Like these 4 polar bear people can defend our fortress from basically anything. But imagine if they were sleeping for 4 months out of the year. And then the goblins figure that out, and they show up in the winter. That would be nuts, right? That would be really interesting. What? Magma flow. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's nothing. Bear people who don't hibernate at least have a malice on all actions. Yeah. Yeah, like it makes them grumpy or something. But I think it'd also be cool if it were like it's strong enough of a biological compulsion that it's like eating or sleeping. Like yes, if they aren't able to get to their hibernation for one reason or another, it's like debilitating, right? I think that would be interesting. Let's do here. Polar bear people would eat 3 times their regular satiation limit to prepare. Yeah. My military squad needs to eat 10 meals apiece and then disappear for 3 months. And there's nothing I can do about it. That would be amazing. I would be upset, but it would be amazing. Animal Life Simulator would be an interesting mode. Yeah, I think so. I always thought the ubiquitous animal people in Dwarf Fortress is one of the characteristic things about this game to me. Like you don't see them very often. Like sometimes you have to go out of your way to actually see them. But they show up, and when they do, they're always one of the most interesting things happening to me. And just having more interactions with them would be fun. Just watch a single animal spawn. It'd be fun to like take control of a herd. Adventure mode, but it's herd mode. Clan mode. Oh, that scared me for a second. Okay, I didn't open up too much there. Do I actually... Let's do like here. It's like a nature documentary. It would be just as brutal as regular mode. That'd be great. It'd be so good. Oh, I need to not forget about the humans. Let's not forget about trading with the humans. They have some gems. Okay, let's see if we get lucky here. Watch the scratching and digging of giant ants underground. Sim ant, but Dwarf Fortress? Yes, please. Topazes, diamonds, rose quartz, paradox, dendritic, agates, sard, spinel, demantoid, moonstone. I want sunstone, moss opal, rose quartz, onyx opal, red diamond, pineapple opal, almandine, fortification agate. That's what I want. That's for me. Banded agate? No. Bandfire opal. I've done that like 3 times now. Tube agate. Yeah, I want tube agate. Kunzites are not necessary, but they are rare. They're also expensive, apparently. Maybe not. Topazes, moonstone, fire opal. Nope. Dendritic agate, another fortification agate. And another one. Okay, I will take those. Geez, wow. Banded agate? No. Wow. Every single time. Yeah, kunzites are expensive. Moonstone, topazolite, bloodstone. They brought a lot of gems. And some of them I even wanted. Okay. Let's look at their meat. I may grab some of those other things. Major non-sentient civ hazard, giant ant, super colony, desert in the middle of the map. Oh dear. We accidentally settled on a fire ant person colony. That'd be bad. Accidentally sent that to my girlfriend. She said, deploy anteater. Giant anteater, yes. Employ mercenary anteater people. Anteater people versus ant people. That'd be fun. That would be fun. We're only gonna get so far with our goods at this point. Traded a lot of our good stuff away. I've been keeping them busy with all this mining. Let's see, that might be what we get. Yep, perfect. Okay. Well, we got some things. So I'm gonna come back down here. Anteater forgotten beast. I think that kind of happens. You will know why in times long past they ruled. It took the unification of all the ant tribes to bring them down. Okay, I think we got... Did we get amber opal? No, we got tube agate. We got a tube agate. So I'm gonna say... I'm trying to make sure that we can tell if it's the wrong color. So tube agate. See, even then... Is it... Doesn't he be the first one? I thought it was the last one. Unclear. Let's just do this. Do that, see how it works. We got a couple of fortification agates. Yeah, we have 4 of them. Don't think we got cinnamon grossular or wood opal. I think we saw a bandfire opal. Nope. No sunstone. No wood opal. No cinnamon. We did our fortification agate. Okay. So we got a color by trading. At least one. Love me some Lovecraftian ancient history. Can we get like an ancient alien show, but like alternate history? Can I get an alternate history channel? And not like in an alternative fact kind of a way, but like a history channel dedicated to alternative history stories. Can I have that, please? Tofu. Tofu can just stand on her back legs for kind of an impressive amount of time. Like, she's balancing right now. She's playing with the dangler from the fan. So it's not like supporting her. She's just like standing on 2 legs and batting at it. Just completely balanced. It's kind of terrifying. No. So she's grabbing a little bit. Now she's grabbing it. Tofu. Please don't turn on the fan. Or rip it down. Hey, no, leave it. Psst. Psst. Oh, what am I gonna do with you? Best guy doing it would probably be the alternate historian on YouTube. Oh, I should find that. Like in alternate alt history hub had like any qualified history, any qualifications whatsoever. What is it for if not for kitten? No joke. Oh, no joke. There's so many things in here that are for kitten because they exist. She worries me. She worries me. Oh, was I digging something down here? I didn't get any notifications of terrible things happening, so I guess it's fine. That's gonna be a little bit harder. We can do here. You can grab that. Do this, and we can do like this, and that'll be it. Lovable creature. I mean, she's capable of being loved. In practice, however. Link to his channel and media sharing. Excellent, thank you. I use alternate history and fake maps to talk about real history. I may have seen this, but have since forgotten about it. A migrant has arrived. Just to put us back at our... I already missed him. Okay. We got a migrant. Oh, did I not mute? Well, there's semi-molten rocks. That's a good sign. Let's do here. Trey the Explainer, I may have brought up, but more recently, but he's been on since his teen years, and his first vid was a history of the Earth in Cthulhu mythos with muffled audio and all. Excellent. Excellent. Who is the migrant? I don't know. When they first show up, you can tell because it labels them as new arrival. But as soon as they talk to someone, they're just a citizen. So I don't actually know who it was. We just got a person. Of course, now we have a burning diamond here. Glad to have him. Yep, more the merrier. Only good things happen to people who come here. Okay. So then I'm gonna do here. Go to assign a bedroom if they won't have one. Oh, that's true. That is true. We have some unassigned bedrooms. I think. There's zones. What are bedrooms? Carrick, a leather worker. And then these are hatchlings. So yeah, it must be. "26 years old, accomplished leather worker. It's wonderful to be out exploring the wilds." Yeah, they must be new. They have no skills and no thoughts. Head empty. Yeah. Talented ambusher. Yeah, this is definitely a brand new person. They have a relationship with their god. They belong to our group and nothing else. They have very few skills. Welcome aboard. Doesn't need to be assigned. It's true. But I want them to have their bedrooms. I should assign those hatchlings as well. Oh, you mean it doesn't have to be an unassigned bedroom? I guess that makes sense. Boop. Give the babies their rooms. There's plenty available. Head empty, the kobold way. And then I'm gonna put a pond right here. To extinguish a diamond. Here's our miner. Nothing? Wow. Okay. I mean, there could be... Let's try here as well. Yeah, let's do here. Did we make progress today? Today was a weird day. We successfully didn't drown. We fended off a siege. We gained a color. Is this just gonna light on fire again? Smoke, steam, and diamond. We had fun. Yeah, that's true. It's true. That's really all that matters, right? We're here to hang out. Sometimes Monday is just Monday, even in Dwarf Fortress. Are the kobolds having a case of the Mondays? Dig, 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 dig. You, dig. Cool. Okay. I think we have dug enough for a lot of this to be safe to dig now. Or things that aren't safe are going to be just entirely unsafe. I get the impression... Let's just do like this. Siege on a Monday? Yeah. Heck. It's not one, it's the other. Oh, we probably could have done this. Let's do this, actually. And then this is fine. This is all nerve-wracking, right? Like, I don't know how far the gems are gonna go in this direction, but I can't do it from above for most of this. Or like in this direction, or this direction especially. I guess there's some There's semi-molten rock there, which means I can do this, right? I think. And like this. Hey, there we go. What happened to the diamond? Did someone grab the diamond? We have a lot of miners now. We've trained up a bunch of miners. Is this just a solo tile of semi-molten rock? Well, clearly that wasn't anything. Which means... this should be fine. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. Oh, yep, I did it. Oh, I did it, didn't I? Oh, I did it. I really did it now. Well, I've killed at least 2 miners already. The rest of you need to get the fuck out. Leave the gems. We're now officially evacuating. Oh, there's someone there. And there's someone there. I probably killed 3 people. Possibly 4. Well, the squads leave. I don't think this level is safe either. Time to flood that level? That's true. We are directly under a lake. We could just dig our way back down through obsidian. Well, fortunately, we've been closing things off as we've been going. I wonder if we can just get... if I can just build floors here fast enough? I don't think we're gonna have that much time, though. Must remove construction. Oh, because there's a... I think we need to wall this off. Or floor this off. Let's do... I'm gonna need like a backup stair, and then we're doing floor here. And this is like the highest priority that you've ever seen. If we can get that done before this level floods, I think we can salvage this. Oh, geez. It's gonna go so fast, though. Watch the wonders of pressure. Of course, we're gonna, like, not have any frames either. Yep, there goes... what's this here? Something's burning there. We're gonna lose a polar bear. Keep go. Go. Cicero. Run. It's dangerous. Run. Why? You have no sense of self-preservation. Because corner slit helps, it's true. It's very, very true. Yes, bad. This could be worse. Can you please leave? Master Miner? You're not gonna leave. You're just gonna stand there. What about you? You are constructing, no job. I mean, I told you all to leave, right? They're just hanging out. No, the poor polar bear. And what are you doing? You need... Okay, I'm gonna designate more mining just so that the miners have a place to want to go to, right? I mean, there's plenty of mining jobs. Why are you just standing around? Master Miner goes down with a shaft that was completely unnecessary. Fully unnecessary. I'm even going to station the squads like upstairs. I'm going to station you up here. Do not need to be losing soldiers to this. Smooth walls gets everyone doing something. True, but they're miners. Why would you not be... Try to focus on the practical side of the matter, as a wall of magma shoves into him from behind. Need builders too. I think those are going to be designated at least. Like, we've already got 2 of these done. And then, okay, our squad is leaving. These 2 are here for a reason. Grabbing a bucket. But like... You can get there. Or no! I did! Oh. I trapped you down there. Because they got down by these stairs and that's what flooded first. This is my fault. It's all my fault. If someone could come down here and do that. Oh, you did it. Okay. We saved that one. Let's put the floor back. If we could trap it on this floor, that'd be kind of fantastic. So I can do that, but I can't because this is constructed. So I need to like... Can I remove that from above? Because this is going to take a moment to fill in. That was that already there? That didn't just happen, did it? So I'm actually going to suspend one. This one, the king? I'm gonna say the king doesn't need to come down here right now. All those poor diamonds. Won't somebody think of the diamonds? Oh, there's just a block right there. Yeah. I mean, if all of those happened very quickly, we could limit it to the one level. Which would still be terrible, but you know, possibly fixable. Oh, how do you... That'll be fun to engineer our way out of. The worst mistakes always happen at the end of the stream, don't they? Please. Please do it. I think we have... Why is that one not getting grabbed? Did I destroy my construction material? So you have a lot of obsidian crafts in our future. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if these two could get done before this fills, we'll be okay. Also, we need some slabs. Oh, we lost 4 people. We were at 150. Come on, guys. Clock is ticking. Clock is ticking rather quickly here. What if I put a hatch? Can I put... I'm not gonna worry about it. This level will take a very long time to fill if it comes to that. Okay, here we are. Okay. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Okay, I think we're sealed. I think we close it off. English! I was so close. We also lost a bunch of masterpieces down there. Yeah, well, everything else seems fine. This is what happens when I complain about it being uneventful. Riveting Twitch watching? Well, that's good. Interesting economic reality if it played out. An excess of obsidian supplies by the kobold ones leads to selling more obsidian to local polar bear men / bobcat men populations as they work better in sub-zero environments, leading to more raids on Goblin Frontier. That'd be funny. I don't think it quite works that way. Yep. Miners have been missing for a week. Well, the game had one last FU at the end of the stream. It went too smoothly. Yep. I was complaining. I shouldn't have said anything. Yep, four fried miners. I'm gonna watch this fill. It's only gonna take a moment, but I want to make sure that it's done. Thank you for the follow. Obsidian weapons, less expensive than metal, portable, less favored by big civs since they have alternatives, and good cutting edge, but others are without. You can make swords. You can only make swords, but you can make obsidian swords. May the dragon embrace you, that's true. Return to the fire. It's too easy to just get careless. A moment of carelessness, and this is what you get. At least with the aquifer, we didn't kill anyone. It just turned into a pain in the butt. Obsidian plus walrus bones. So realistically, there's only one tile that we need to fill, right? Like if we could fill this tile, we'd be fine. Or even that tile for that matter. And we are directly below a cave ocean. I think what's going to happen somehow, the trick will be doing it without murdering. Because we'll need to like basically open a tile of ceiling and drop water in before the magma can come up. Like even a little bit. I need to like drop a tile. I need to drop a tile of floor and have water be coming down right after it. Whatever happens, do it with a way of stopping the outflow with a lever. I don't know if we can get that fancy. I think we need to plug it. I think we drop some water in there and turn it into an obsidian plug. I don't know what else you could do. Magma doesn't flow up, does it? It has pressure, right? Well, I mean, I sealed all this off, so it should be fine. But like, the magma goes up to here, right? I expect it to flow up. Maybe we'll have to experiment with that. Lava lake, obsidian plug, several Z layers of water. There's gonna be water involved, that much is certain. Even our steel picks are like, fine. Is steel magma safe? I guess it must be. We can get our picks back. Well, this will be a fun engineering challenge. Project for next time? Yeah, no joke. I just want to make sure that this is all secure. We have it stabilized. It's not going to claim another level. No, I think we're fine in the short term. I think we got all this closed off. I'm just making sure. It's currently topping itself off. Interesting that it's pulling from here. From there specifically. That's interesting. Could you like build into the magma sea by draining it into another part of the magma sea? Like just break this down real quick and like build floor over here? Just for the heck of it? If not hopeless, these events can be fun to fix. Yeah, this is going to be an engineering challenge. This will be I haven't done this before. I've made this mistake before, but I haven't tried to fix it before. Good night, JM. I think we're going to wrap up here in just a second. I'm just waiting for this. But yeah, come by on Thursday. We're going to figure out what we're doing with this. Ugh. Still playing out the geopolitical dropout of weapons, obsidian weapons on the frontier. Be interesting and possibly deadly. True. A bunch of animal people crawling out of the ground with obsidian swords. Okay, this does seem fine. Goodness, it's been a while since I've done that. You have a time for Thursday? Yes, same time. I keep a pretty regular schedule. I have been rather successful at that. Same time on Thursday. So we started 3.5 hours ago. We will start at that same time on Thursday. 2 to 5 Pacific is what it turns out to be. Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Saturday won't be Dwarf Fortress though. We do something different on Saturdays. But this time on Thursday, come back. Gonna figure this out, I guess. Doesn't even really want to fully fill up, does it? It is getting there. Magma Snake is like, yes. Perfect. Maybe Goblin Shaman Investigator sussing out the situation. Okay, why? It's very close. Only fire lives there now. We don't go there anymore. Okay. Very nearly. I see only a couple. There's like 3 6s in there. Just bouncing around. I'm so mad. Oh, I'm so mad. Maybe what we do, we flood this entire floor with like 2 or 3 deep of water, and then just start pulling up the floor. Maybe that's the simple answer. Why is this last little bit taking so long? I think we're fine. I'm gonna call it good. I don't see any magma visually, so I don't see anywhere where it could creep up from here, right? There's no openings. I think we're okay. I think we prevented... We didn't prevent anything. We mitigated it as a disaster. Hooray! Come by on Thursday. We're gonna figure that out. So that's cool. Yeah, come by on Saturday for something new. I haven't decided. I have an idea. Of a game to start on Saturday. Might be a little bit of a longer one though, so it might take a good handful of Saturdays to do, but I don't know. One of those universally loved games that I haven't gotten to, so maybe we'll do that. I'm not telling you what it is, but I'm thinking maybe that. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. Today's episode is brought to you by Gyms on Fire, Under Magma, Hop In, and by viewers like you, clicking on all the buttons down there, hanging out with us live, hanging out in VODs, hanging out in Discord. Push a button. And I will see you on Thursday. We're gonna deal with this. Yikes. But then keep going. We're gonna complete our color collection. We're gonna complete our color collection. I didn't even get a chance to look at the two that we made. We'll do that. Anyway, come by for more. I hope you have a good rest of your week. I hope you don't flood your domicile with magma. I hope everything goes well and according to plan and isn't too exciting. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you stay kind.